Most people think the GTO died in 1972. They're wrong, and what came after is even stranger than you think. By the end of this video, you're going to look at the GTO completely differently. Let's get into it. Number 7, the identity crisis. Okay, so picture this. It's 1974. The muscle car era is basically dead. Gas prices are through the roof, insurance companies are killing performance cars, and everyone thinks the GTO is gone forever. But Pontiac does something absolutely wild. They slap the GTO badge onto a completely different car, the compact Ventura. Now, this is the only time in GTO history that the car was ever offered as a hatchback. Not a fastback, not a coupe, a hatchback, on a compact frame. It's like putting a championship belt on a completely different fighter and saying, yeah, same guy. But here's what makes this one actually interesting to collectors. It came with a functional shaker hood scoop on a compact car. A shaker hood is that big aggressive scoop that sits right on top of the engine and literally shakes when the engine revs because it's bolted directly to it. It's one of the most muscle car things ever put on a car, and they put it on this little hatchback. For decades, people laughed at this car. It was called a fake GTO, an embarrassment, a desperate move by Pontiac. And because of that, most people ignored them. But that's exactly why smart collectors are starting to grab them now. The hatchback version especially. It's the most unusual GTO ever built, and unusual always wins in the long run. Number 6, the modern error. A factory mistake worth a fortune. That's exactly what this is. When Pontiac brought the GTO back in 2004 and 2005, the plan for the 2005 model was clear. Every single car gets hood scoops. It was part of the whole new look, more aggressive, more muscle car. But there was a parts shortage, and because of that, roughly 24 cars rolled off the assembly line with the smooth, clean, flat hood from 2004 instead of the scooped 2005 hood. 24 cars, that's it. Now here's the crazy part. Under that plain, boring, no-scoop hood sits the 2005's 6-liter LS2 engine, the more powerful one. So you've got a car that looks completely stock and sleeper-level quiet from the outside, but has more horsepower than the cars with the aggressive hood. It's a wolf in sheep's clothing, built entirely by accident. If you ever see a 2005 GTO without hood scoops, do not tell the owner what they have. Just make an offer. Number 5, the fighter jet. This one gets called the Forgotten GTO, and honestly, that's fair. But forgotten doesn't mean bad, it means opportunity. 1973 was a one-year-only body style for the GTO. They called it the Colonade body, and it had this smooth, almost European look to it that was very different from the classic aggressive GTO shape. People hated it at the time. It didn't look like a muscle car. It looked like something else entirely. But here's what most people completely missed. That hood. The 1973 GTO is the only GTO ever built with NACA ducts. NACA stands for National Advisory Committee for Aeronautics, which is basically the group that became NASA. These hood scoops were designed by aerospace engineers specifically to pull air into an engine without creating drag. They use the same fluid dynamics principles used on fighter jets and race cars. And Pontiac put them on the GTO in 1973, 1 year only, and nobody cared. Because people hated the styling so much, most of these cars were either beaten to death, crushed, or left to rot in fields. Finding a clean 1973 GTO today is genuinely hard. The fact that it's been ignored for 50 years makes it one of the most undervalued GTOs you can buy right now. Number 4, the mid-year monster, the engine that was too good to last. In 1968, Pontiac introduced the Ram Air 2, a high-performance engine with round exhaust ports, which is a big deal because it allowed the engine to breathe so much better. More airflow means more power. It was a serious piece of engineering. The problem? It only came out for the last 3 months of the 1968 model year. That's it. Only 199 were ever built with this engine configuration. 199. Now, if one of those 199 happens to be a convertible, you are not looking at a car anymore. You are looking at a retirement fund. Convertible muscle cars from this era always carry a premium because they're rarer and more dramatic. And when you combine that with an engine that was only available for a 3-month window and only produced in that tiny number, the value goes through the roof. This is the kind of car that sits in climate-controlled garages and gets bought and sold between serious collectors. Regular people almost never see one in person. Number 3, the money engine. If the Ram Air 2 was the engine that was too good to last, the Ram Air 4 was the engine that was too good for the street. Pontiac's own people told customers straight up, this engine is not for everyday driving. It was so high-strung, so radical, so tuned for maximum performance that it was genuinely difficult to drive in normal conditions. It was a race car engine that happened to be available for purchase in a street car. And people bought it anyway because it was 1969 and nobody was thinking about practicality. The Ram Air 4 was the most expensive engine option of the entire era, and only a tiny number were ever paired with a convertible body and an automatic transmission. How many? 14. 14 cars in the entire world. Those 14 cars now regularly cross the $1 million mark at auction. Let that sit for a second. A 1969 GTO convertible with the Ram Air 4 automatic has sold for over $1 million, more than once. If you somehow stumble across one at a barn sale, do not drive away. Sleep next to it if you have to. Number 2, the Last Judge. The Final 17. The Judge was the GTO's ultimate performance package. Louder, faster, more aggressive. It came with a spoiler, special graphics, and the kind of attitude that made other cars nervous. And 1971 was the last year it ever existed. But 1971 also brought something new to the Judge. The 455 HO engine came standard. This was a massive V8 that produced serious torque, and it was the only year the Judge ever came with it as the base engine. So you've got the last ever Judge with the most powerful standard engine it ever had, and you want to know how many were built as convertibles. 17. 17. 17 cars. If you own one of these, you are not just a car collector. You are at the very top of the GTO world. Full stop. These cars barely come up for sale because the people who have them never let them go. When one does surface, it causes a serious reaction in the collector community. This is the gold standard. Number 1. The Ghost. 3 cars. That's what we're talking about. 3. In 1972, the GTO was no longer its own standalone model. It became an option package on the Pontiac Le Mans. You could still get the GTO, but it was kind of buried. And within that lineup, there was a body style called the Post Coupe, which is a coupe that has the B-pillar, the middle window post, still intact. It's the opposite of a hardtop, which has no pillar and looks cleaner. The Post Coupe was the more basic, less flashy option. And that is exactly why almost nobody ordered the 455 HO engine in it. Why put the most powerful engine in the more basic body? Most people didn't. Only 3 people did. 3 1972 GTO Post Coupes were ever built with the 455 HO engine and a 4-speed manual transmission. Most GTO experts, people who have spent their entire lives studying this car, have never seen one in person. It's not just rare, it's a ghost. It might be the rarest muscle car configuration in American automotive history. Every single one of these cars has a story that most people have never heard. And that's the whole point. The GTO's legacy goes so much deeper than most people realize. Which one of these would you take home if money wasn't an issue? Drop it in the comments. I'm curious to see where people land. If you want to go even deeper on rare muscle cars, the next video is already on your screen. Don't skip it.